it's about 25 years now since I probably started working in a field that I had no initial idea that I would, and so to have the chance to reflect on that, it feels quite special, and it feels really, and that's to do with the importance, I think, of the work and the importance of the people I've met on those journeys and what that's prompted and inspired me and encouraged me to think about that I otherwise may not.
So 25 years, and yeah, you didn't know that it was going to be, that's how it was going to evolve, or that's what it was going to be?
No, when I was doing my social work training, I'd come to it from education, and I was going to get into community development work. I had no idea that I would become interested in therapeutic work, and it sort of happened by chance, but by following things that I found incredibly interesting, and finding myself sticking up for kids for things that I thought about them that were worthy of being honoured when they were really seriously in trouble at school and being labelled and described in particular ways. And there's particularly stories of this boy called Jason and another young man called Martin, and their lives were, one was about to get expelled from school, and the other one was, with a very serious, heavy psychiatric diagnosis at the age of 15. And I'm not saying that there weren't problems or struggles, there were, but there was so much more to Martin in the classroom about, the ideas that he had for his life, or things that he wanted to do, or abilities that he had, or things that he was good at when I'd take them to art groups at Kaku, or when we go swimming, or things like that. That just seemed to be entry points for, different ways of exploring who people are in the world. For a period of my working life, I went to work as a teacher in a psychiatric inpatient unit. And in that unit, I remember the psychiatrist saying to me, "Your contribution is incredibly valuable, because in the case meetings you're telling us stories about these young people that we don't see." And I really believed it about them. I could see things that they were doing, or abilities that they had, or I saw them in a different light. I saw them through a different lens that was important. And so that's part of what contributed to that. I don't know, that real drive in me, that determination in me to find ways of working that would be, elevating people's experience and elevating people's sense of what they could do to make a difference in their own lives. Yeah, I wasn't much I wasn't really drawn, even as a young person, into describing those young people in that adolescent unit. They had, they already had a psychiatric diagnosis, and that's not how I saw them. I know they were having struggles, but there was also much more to them. That seemed to be where, in those territories of life, it seemed to be where there was other possibilities and other potential and hope about how life could be different. That's the crux of what started to get very exciting for me, was that what was happening and what was the more common way of understanding people's experience was that their experience wasn't at the centre of the meaning-making. What was at the centre of the meaning-making was discourses of expertise, or the psychologising of experience, or the disordering of experience. It just seemed that most people had a disorder of some sort. And so, to me, being introduced to the whole concept of practices which were pathologising of people's experience in that way, that did not sit well, and I was looking for something other than that. It always made sense to me that people were doing things in their life. It always, I just thought, well, people are doing things in their life, but these things are often not noticed, or are not really not really taken seriously, or not really, like people are not really very interested necessarily in what it is that people are doing. And I think that always made sense. And I was really interested in something about the value of people's own lives and what was important to them, that I wanted to learn how to kind of harness that, or bring that into the work. I think it still comes back to that concept of how do you conceptualise it, and what's the framework that enables us to have these conversations, to be alongside people on these journeys. That's what the driving force has always been, to find something that fits politically and ethically, and that makes it possible.